everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Table Talk with Tottie. In today's show, we are talking about mindset and how to whip it into proper alignment. After recently learning how vital the human spine is and how it controls a great majority of the functions in the human body, well, it got me to thinking about just how similar the spine is to our mindset. So if you're interested in learning how the two are similar, how to whip your negative mindset into proper alignment, and how to keep up with positive mindset maintenance, then just keep listening. Welcome to Table Talk with Tottie, a podcast for millennials designed to motivate, inspire, and educate you on what it really takes to live a real life on purpose. This isn't your typical podcast. You can count on me to keep it real, funky, and relatable here on Table Talk with Tottie. Hey you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Table Talk with Tottie. This is episode number 6. And we're going to call this one, Get Your Mind Right. Today we're going to be talking about something that we've learned about in school, but it's something that came up in my life recently. Not that I have spine issues or anything, not that I know of at least. But if you follow me on Snapchat, then you know that I recently got a new job at a chiropractic's office. And of course, when you get a new job, you learn new things, obviously. Well, you're supposed to at least. In this case, chiropractic work was something that of course, is not my passion point, but I learned a lot. And the chiropractor, of course, he schooled me on the spine, and he gave me this little diagram that showed the spine and how the different parts of the spine and our nervous system, how it controls every part of our body, from our brains on down to our backs. And it just amazed me at how the nerves in our spine, if it's not in alignment, it amazed me to see how it can alter every other function in your body. So late one night last week, I was laying in my bed, and I'm not lying, it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. I pulled out the same spine diagram that the doctor gave me. And I said, you know what? It's amazing how our mind and our mindset is the same way. Everything that starts in our brain, the way that we think, controls our actions. It controls whether or not we pursue our dreams. It controls every action, every emotion that we feel and that we experience. And so I said, it would be pretty cool to compare the two and really see how they are pretty much just alike. I thought it was pretty amazing. And so today I want to talk about the spine and give you some similarities on how it is similar to your mindset. And I also want to show you how to, if you're struggling with a negative mindset, how to whip it back into proper alignment. Going back to the chiropractic office, people come in 3 days a week, 4 days a week, some of them, to get adjustments, to get their backs adjusted. And when they walk out, they're like brand new people. And so it just amazed me at how people's lives change after they get adjustments, after they start getting their spine back in alignment into where it's supposed to be in position in their bodies. And it's so similar to our mindset. I look at it this way. If you can come in to see a chiropractic 2 to 3 times a week for maintenance to make sure that your back stays where it needs to be, we should be doing the same thing with our mindsets. We should prioritize our mindsets, because if you don't take care of your mind, the rest of your life will really fail in a sense, because you won't have exercise, you won't have practiced proper sitting techniques. The same goes with your mindset. If you don't keep it in check and get your mind right, it controls everything that you do and everything that you don't do, which can result in a successful life or a non-successful life. So today I really wanted to kind of get into all of that and give you some comparisons and also show you how important your positive mindset is. And if you don't have a positive mindset, or if you're struggling with keeping a positive mindset, I'm going to identify some of the factors and some of the things to look for and really try to give you a solution today on how to adjust your mindset, if you will. Some of the problems that people have been running into over the years, over the decades rather, you hear about people with all of these ailments. I did this pretty cool chart, and I'm actually going to do something really cool and send it to my email list. So if you're not on my email list, go over to themotivationmaven.com and sign up for the list, because I'm going to send everybody a comparison chart and something else really cool that I'm putting together for you guys that will allow you to keep your mind right, to get your mind right whenever you kind of fall off or feel like you're falling more into the negative mindset category. And so if you're not on the list, go ahead and do that, of course, after you listen to this episode. But let's do a little quick comparison really quick. The spine. The spine controls every function in the human body. And your mindset controls your actions and the outcome of your life. So your mindset controls the functions of your life. Whenever your nerves are pinched, whenever your spine is not in alignment, it causes your body to have ailments. It causes you to have pain. It causes health problems. It causes all sorts of things to flare up when your nerves are pinched, when your spine is not in alignment. When you have a negative mindset, it causes doubt. It causes you to be fearful. It causes you to be insecure. And ultimately, it results in very little or no changes in your life. Now, here are some of the symptoms of spinal nerve function. I did a little bit of research. Whenever you're having a dysfunction in your spine, it causes things like headaches, high blood pressure, back pain, heart conditions, and breathing problems. And there's a whole slew of other things that happens as a result of a failing spinal nerve. So, some symptoms of a negative mindset, of course, again, are doubt, procrastination, insecurity, and lack of fulfillment in life. Ultimately, you're not being successful at anything. You're too afraid to step out of your comfort zone because you don't believe you can do it. You don't believe that your life can be any different than it is now. Just negative Nancy. That's what symptoms of a negative mindset are. Now, your nervous system is an extensive network that channels nerve impulses directly from your brain to pretty much every cell that makes up your body. Crazy, right? Literally everything in your body that functions. And then your mind is the channel. Let me say it again. Your mind is the channel to every emotion and action that you take in life. So your mind, it starts there. If it's not in your mind, however it is in your mind, so if you've envisioned it positively, that form of thinking, that positive mindset is what provokes you to be happy, to be enthusiastic, to be excited, to be curious, to be observant. And those emotions allow you to act based upon the position and the alignment of your mindset. So I thought it was so amazing how the spine and the mindset are so much alike. Like so much alike. And I go back to chiropractic care and how surprised I was to find out actually that spine problems start as children. From the moment we're born, I mean, if you could imagine how the doctors, how babies are born. I won't have to get into too many details. I mean, we all know how babies are born and how much trauma it really is when doctors pull babies out. Chiropractic issues really start as babies, from the time they are born until, they get older. And the majority of people don't start getting chiropractic care and don't start paying attention to their spine and their nervous system until they get, I think they said like 45 was the average age. Don't quote me on that, but it's around that age is when people start to really pay attention to their spine. They start experiencing back problems from all of these many years. And that amazed me also. But there are a lot of children that also come in and get adjustments and get their spines checked out and all of that stuff, because it starts when you're a baby, which brings me to my next point. How important it is to instill positive mindset in our children. I mean, I have a 2-year-old and, I never tell him he's not smart or he can't do something. I mean, heck, I started a business for him at 2. He has no clue what's going on. But this is a way of instilling a positive mindset inside of him so that he can see that he had potential from the very beginning. And you've got to instill in children that they're smart, they're going to change the world, they're going to be the next president, they're going to be whatever they want to be. You know, when kids are small, they have the biggest dreams. You know, kids believe more than we do as adults. And so it's important to instill positive mindset and be careful what you tell them, what you speak into their lives, because those things really matter. And children are like sponges, and so they believe those things. So that's a whole nother point. But the problem here, because, you know, I always have to highlight the big problem. The big problem is we underestimate the power of the mind. And if we can start to put our mindset maintenance in priority, it's amazing how it would change every function in your life. It will really change every function in your life. And so the same way, you know, if you go to the chiropractor for an adjustment every week, multiple times a week, mindset adjustments are just as important. And so some of the ways that you can practice mindset maintenance and whip your negative mindset into proper gear is to first look right around you and find out, like, what is feeding your negative mindset. And a lot of times it could be the people we're hanging out with. It could be the people we're not hanging out with. That's definitely one of the top reasons. Your negative mindset could be your immediate circumstance. Are you in a zone where you're uninspired, where you're you're not motivated? All of these things, your surroundings, the things that you do, what are you doing in your free time? Is it feeding your negative mindset, or is it feeding your positive mindset? So typically it's the people right in your circle, it's your surroundings, and it's what is feeding your mindset. And you've got to treat your mind like your body. You know, the Bible says our body is a temple, right? Our mind is also the same thing. The same way we go to the doctor to get checkups, the same way we go once a year to get our physicals, the same way we get mammograms, and all of these things that we're supposed to do to keep our bodies healthy. We have to do the same thing with our mindset. And so I thought it was pretty cool to see the difference, to see the similarities between the spine and the mindset. And if you could just imagine in your head right now, the spine and all of your nerves, and every time a nerve gets pinched, how it triggers something painful. And then look at your mind and just imagine how it controls every one of your emotions, and it controls the actions and the outcome of your life. And so this was pretty cool, and I said, well, I have to get on the podcast and talk about it, because I think a lot of people underestimate the power of the mind. So before we wrap this episode up, I do want to recommend a book, which is something I never do, but there's a book that I have called The Dangers of the Mind, and it's by a good colleague of mine, actually. Her name is Kristen Hopkins, and I believe you can get the book at thedangersofthemind.com, and follow Kristen on social media, The Dangers of the Mind, and you could just probably search the hashtag. But that book is one of the first books that I got, I think, when I was living in Greenville, and it's definitely been a go-to. It talks about the mind and all that good stuff. So if you're looking for something beyond this podcast to help you learn more about that, then definitely grab her book. It's definitely highly recommended over here. Highly recommended. And it's called, again, The Dangers of the Mind by Kristen Hopkins. And so go check it out. And of course, guys, get on the email list at themotivationmaven.com, because I'm going to be sending you some stuff on the spine and the mindset within the next week or so. So as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode. If you believe that this will help someone else, definitely share it out. And don't forget, we are now on iTunes and Google Play, so you can subscribe if you're an Apple user or an Android user. And definitely leave your reviews, guys, so that we can share the podcast, get it out there more, and share this information with somebody else that you may know. So enjoy your week, and I will talk to you in the next episode. This episode is brought to you by themotivationmaven.com, your one-stop shop for all things motivation. To learn more about advertising on Table Talk with Tottie, email info@thetottybrand.com.